hi again. It's actually the same evening, but I'm just going to cut it right down into short portions because, like I said, I know when I get going, you'll just be, oh my word, does she never shut up? So, moving on. So when I moved down to Langley, and I was looking for love in the wrong places, those that will listen to my first one, I always believed there was a God all of my life. I believe my grandparents, my mum's parents, that passed away when I was 11 and 13, who I loved dearly, I believed that they were in heaven and that one day I would see them again. So I definitely believed all that. And then I prayed quite often, usually when I was afraid. When I was 13, I was absolutely petrified of dying. And the IRA, we lived near Coventry, and the IRA were bombing Coventry and Birmingham, putting bombs in car boots, in waste paper bins. And my friend will tell you, I hated going shopping. I was absolutely petrified. I wouldn't, every time there was a bin, I'd run past it. I didn't want to stay in any shop too long. And I was really, really frightened of dying. And so I prayed every night for at least a year, the same prayer. Please God, don't let me die until I'm at least over 60. SIXTY 60, in case you thought I meant 16. And it's amazing how quickly that came round. I remember saying to my family just before my 60th birthday, I was like, so I need to tell you something, guys. When I was 13, I prayed a prayer for a whole year. I just begged God to let me live till I was at least over 60. And that's come round so fast now. But I just want you to know that, God forbid, if I don't wake up on 60 and one day and I fall asleep and go to heaven, then please don't be cross with God, because he did literally answer the prayer of a very desperate 13-year-old, for which I'm truly grateful. I mean, obviously when I prayed that prayer when I was 13, 60 was actually in my head more like 100. And yeah, it came around really fast. I still don't feel the age that I am on the inside. My hip is sometimes giving way, so that's reminding me that, yep, my body is me getting a bit older. But yeah, it's only when I look in the mirror or watch myself doing podcasts, I realise I am getting older. But inside, I still feel very young, and I cannot believe how quickly that time went from when I was a desperate 13-year-old. So that's where I was with God, and I guess, yeah, just asking him, thinking about him when I was scared or worried about something, and then I would pray to him. I didn't really know him. I didn't know Jesus. I didn't have a relationship with him. Jesus was the baby at Christmas in the manger, and Mary was the cute little girl in the nativity, and Joseph, a cute little boy. Easter, I'm shamefully saying probably Easter eggs, and that's really bad. In assembly we sang hymns. I was actually told not to sing because my voice was pretty much out of tune. Apparently I used to spoil it, so even in assembly I wasn't allowed to sing. A lot of my friends now will actually confirm that it's still a good idea for me not to sing. I do like worshipping God, and I know in Jesus, and I know that time the tune reaches heavenly heights, I think it's been transformed into a nicer sound. But we're all given different gifts, and singing just isn't one of mine. So I was living with my grandparents. I had a friend, she went to see a fortune teller, and it was quite interesting. So she went to see this fortune teller, and she's a really good friend of mine. And this sounds a bit weird, but we call her Julie Bear, and they just call me Susie Bear. Just how you are when you're 19 years old, working in an office full of women. I guess we all get nicknames. So Julie, we went to see a fortune teller, and Julie was told that she would go to South Africa and meet the man that was going to change her life. And she didn't have any money at the time, so we thought it was a bit weird. Also, one of the ladies, there were three of us went, and one of the ladies went to church, and her vicar insisted we went round and we got exercised, which was a whole new thing for me, saying that we shouldn't have gone to fortune tellers, and so that was a bit scary that we shouldn't have gone. And anyway, so Julie went, and she was told that she was going to meet the man that was going to change her life. And we went 2 weeks later, after she was told that, her mum's boyfriend, who was South African, his mum rang her and offered to pay for her to go to South Africa, which was quite incredible. And so she went, all expenses paid. And when she got back, we couldn't wait. Like, oh, Julie, what happened? Who's this man? What's his name? Did you meet him? And she goes, yeah, I met him. And I was like, everyone, like, let's listen now. Like, everybody stop working quick. Let's get out of the way, because I felt she was going to be going around telling everyone in the office, as open plan officers, like, we might as well just all hear it now. So who did you meet? What's his name? And she was somebody who had loved going to nightclubs, had a boyfriend before she went, and yeah, she just loved having a good time, a real party girl. And so she sat there with the biggest smile on her face, and she goes, I met Jesus. I remember we weren't sure whether she meant the Jesus or the man's name was Jesus. And really, from that moment on, for the next couple of years, I was a bit mean. I teased her. She would be so strong in her faith. She changed, not in a horrible way. She still went to nightclubs. She just didn't go and flirt with the men as much. She went to church Sundays. She's full of it. She's always smiling. But then she was, to be fair, before. But there was something different about her. And she just wanted us all to know what that was like. She wanted us to know how good it was to feel the love of God and to know Jesus. So I remember I was living with somebody then, thought I was okay, thought we were doing fine and I was happy. But one night I was leaving work, and I remember her saying to me, God just gave me a verse from the Bible for you. And I was like, he did? She's like, yeah. And she quoted Matthew 26 about the wise and foolish builders. And actually, now my mind's going, I better just recheck that one, but it's actually Matthew 26, it might be Matthew 6. Anyway, so you know the story, the parable of the wise and foolish builders. If you build your house on the sand, a storm comes, the house collapses, and you lose everything. But if you build your house on the rock being Jesus, then if the storm comes, your house still stands. I remember as she shared that with me, right in my heart, I was like, yeah, that's going to mean something to you one day. I really knew that it was going to mean something to me. And it did 7 years later. But at that moment, it was not scary, but it was almost like, something. It really, really did touch in my heart, a really deep place, and it stayed there, that God had given me this verse and that one day it would mean something. Anyway, fast forward, it didn't work out with the guy. He got a transfer to Reading, and he was an engineer. So we moved to Reading. I actually had got promoted to a job in Reading as well with electricity board. So that kind of worked out well. We were both living in Reading. Tried to fit a new kitchen. Realised that he had a completely different sense of humour to me. Mine was very much basic and just pretty much laugh at anything. a little bit more serious. And yeah, he admitted, and when I called it a day, eventually he said to me, no one will ever love you. You're a pig. And yeah, I like food. When I was with him, we did karate. Actually ended up being a black belt, but we used to practice a lot, so I was the thinnest that I've ever been. I was really tiny. I think I weighed 8 stone. And my mum was worried because she just said, you just look too skinny. It's hard to believe now I'm doing all that exercise. And so for him to say, you're just a pig, it wasn't like now. Okay, you can see it. I have liked my food over the years, but then it was different. I was really tiny. And anything I ever did was never good enough for him. Everything, if I washed up and left it to drain, that didn't dry up. If I washed and dried up, then I didn't put it away properly. If I washed, dried up, put it away properly, then I didn't clean the floor in the kitchen, and so forth. So there'd always be something I hadn't done. He could never be happy for me, never happy with me. Everything was my fault. It may have been, but it was hard to take. And so the joy kind of went out of the relationship, and realised it come to an end. So to be honest, I felt quite desperate again, because I'd gone from the experiences with the divorce and not feeling loved. And I will share about what I consider to be the darkest moment of my life, another podcast. But for now, it's just to know that I hadn't been in a very good place. And this felt the same. I believed him. I believed him that nobody would ever love me. And so I remember leaving the house, it's in Woodley, near Reading, and I remember having a thought I was going to drive the car off the side of a mountain, but I can see I hadn't thought that through, because there are literally no mountains anywhere near Reading, and I had not planned it that far ahead. I don't think I was actually going to do that. I don't think I was, but it was how I felt was that low, that I didn't feel worthy to be alive. It's just like, why? What's the point? Nobody's going to love me. And yeah, I truly believe that. My parents, the experience that I'd had, that I'll share another time, I've been in that place when I didn't feel any human love. So it's not a nice place to be. If you're in that place, I'm going to say you are worthy. You're so worthy, and you're so loved. God just loves you so much. He created you to be you. And if someone's making you feel like that, it's not you. It's not you. It's them. So please believe that you are worthy and you are loved. And love is enough. Love from God is enough. It may not feel it right now, but find somebody that can help you find your way. There are people out there. Walk into a church. Ask somebody for help. And there'll be a way. Please, please. Know that if somebody tells you that you are a pig, that no one will ever love you, that is not true. It just means they will never love you. So please believe that. And if you need to hear that right now, I want you to really hear that. And I remember going in the car, I thought I'm going to just pop in and see my friend. One last time, I actually didn't really, I don't remember having planned anything, but I just remember thinking I'll just pop in and see her before I think about what else I'm going to do. And I walked in, and my godson was then 18 months old. And as I walked in through the door, he ran towards me with his arms outstretched. And I just picked him up. I hugged him so tight. There was a moment of like, hold on a minute. If only Danny loves me. If only my little godson of 18 months loves me this much, then someone loves me. And I can be loved. And I am loved. So yeah, and 18 months old that day. Just put everything into perspective. So please, there is something better out there for you. If you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling unloved, if you feel that you're not worthy to be loved, you are. You absolutely are. And as I share on these podcasts, you'll see that life did get a lot better. So much better. So I'm going to leave that there for now, because that's a 15-minute podcast. I was hoping to cut the part about 10 minutes. Not sure I'm going to manage that. But if you can really resonate with any of this, please, I beg you to open your heart to Jesus and just ask him to show you love. And I will share about the most amazing conversion I had when I was 25 years old on the next podcast. So, over and out.